Welcome to Implant Outlook, a podcast dedicated to the implant printing industry. Welcome to the Implant Outlook podcast. Today, it is my great pleasure to welcome Sherri Isbell, Director of Printing and Mailing Services at the University of Oklahoma, which is one of the largest university implants with over 50 employees and a budget of nearly $12 million. A very impressive operation, which I have had the pleasure of visiting twice. So welcome, Sherri.
Thank you, Bob. It's good to be here with you.
It is so nice to talk to you. Now, we've known each other a long time now through Implant Printing and Mailing Association conferences. When did you come to your first IPMA conference?
My first conference was actually in '98 in Norfolk, Virginia. But I think the most memorable conference was in Atlanta, Georgia in 2002.
Yeah.
I remember that conference specifically because I had the opportunity to attend so many sessions that felt like they were tailored just for me. I made new contacts and I was able to network with some people that I am still friends with and I'm still in touch with today. I met Mike Lloyd there for the first time, Barb Pello there for the first time.
Yeah, and you've made quite a mark on IPMA since then. You've got the Outstanding Contributor Award in 2013. You served as International President in 2019, 2020. What is it about IPMA that makes you want to be so involved?
The first thing that comes to mind is networking. It's an organization with such a unique environment where professionals from all over the industry get to share ideas and there's no competition. That's such a rare find in cutthroat corporate America these days that we can share ideas with no competition, right?
Yeah.
And as managers, sometimes you can feel like you're out on an island all alone. You're charting this course by yourself. But with IPMA, I never felt like I was alone. It gives managers such a great platform. We're able to build these valuable relationships nationwide, not just your neighbor down the street, right? And it was such an honor to be awarded Outstanding Contributor. Such a surprise. I always love giving back when I can. And then to be elected president, to serve an organization with an amazing rock star board, to be able to help better our organization and take it to the next level, that was just something I was really ready and on board to do.
Yes, it is a great organization, and I too have made many friends there over the years. We'll talk about IPMA a little bit more in a bit, but I want to hear more about your background and find out how you first got into the printing business.
My first part-time job in college was for a small publisher in Norman. Didn't start to work there because it was a publisher. It was just a job that was available at the time. But when I started working there, I just loved the idea of how a book came together from that initial idea to final publication. My husband's also an author on the side, so I'm still amazed at the way a book and putting all the magic into a book and getting that ink on paper and being able to disseminate that to people all across the world. I just think that is so interesting. That led to my first job at OU. My supervisor there at that small publishing company took a job at OU Printing Services. And it wasn't long until she called me and said, I really like you to apply. There is a job here that's open, and the rest is history. It was a very long time ago. That was about 35 years ago.
Wow. Well, what kept you interested in working there in those early days?
I think it's because there was so much to learn. I started out answering the phone, working in customer service, entering small orders. And it was so much different than any of the jobs that my friends had. There was such a sense of satisfaction, in printing. Like I'd said earlier, to be able to accomplish a project from start to finish and to know that everything can be refined with applying your skill set, whether that's cutting a business card to perfection or whether that's printing a 500-page coffee table book for the museum.
Yeah.
I think having that sense of achievement and completing something was probably what kept me in the printing industry for so long. When I had the opportunities to leave, I really liked people that I worked with. I liked doing what I did.
Yeah. Well, when did you first move into a management role?
Oh, wow. I feel like I've been in management forever. I've always, I guess, looked for opportunities for career advancement. Whenever a role would come open, I'd apply for it. I worked my way up by learning everything that I could so that I felt like I was more knowledgeable than the next person that might apply for a job. I challenged myself by taking jobs and work outside my comfort zone,
Yeah.
even sometimes when they were lateral moves. I think my very first management position was to become a lead over all of the CSRs and estimators. I was always helping out with the other estimators on complex tasks with customers when our supervisor wasn't available. So when they decided to take all of the estimators and CSRs and have a lead position, I was chosen for that. So I think that's
Uh,
my first management role way back a long time ago.
yeah. Nice. So I know in 2018 you became associate director. What were some of the new responsibilities and accomplishments you had in that role?
That role was the opportunity to, again, step outside my comfort zone. Prior to being associate director, I was assistant director, along with Bob Goodwin, a name that so many
Oh yeah,
people in our industry
remember Bob?
know. Yes, he and I were assistant directors together. My role at the time as assistant director was all the front facing employees, everyone in customer service, everybody on the mail side, all of our contract post office stations, everything based on campus. His role was more on the production side of printing. So when he retired back in 2018, I can remember telling John Sarantakis, our boss at the time, that that's something I really wanted to absorb and I thought that I could do. And it would be a seamless move. So I applied for the job, and everyone else that applied for it didn't have the skill set or the experience. And I was hired as assistant director with our entire team reporting up to me at that time. It was a
Oh,
lot more work. It was a lot more work, but it was definitely an easy transition since I knew all the members of our team.
oh, so nice. Yes, I remember when you moved into that role, and I was very happy for you.
Thank you, Bob.
Being a woman in a leadership role in a male-dominated industry can't have been easy. What challenges did you have to overcome?
It's interesting that I've never really let it enter my mind that the printing services was as male dominated as it is. The staff at OU always had a mix of both men and women in not only production positions, but management positions. So I guess day in and day out, I didn't really see that there weren't a lot of women in the industry. And as far as challenges go, I think that people are people. And success in any industry is based on talent. Leaders should be strong, but fair. I think I have a really unique skill set working my way up from answering the phone. I've seen both sides. So becoming director hasn't really altered my leadership style. I think I remain decisive, I remain strong, but I also prioritize respecting my team because I've been in their place. I know that they consistently put that effort in and day out. So I know the importance of their dedication. I want to make sure that they have the same opportunity for advancement and success that I did.
Yeah, that's a great way to look at it, and I'm sure they appreciate that too. I wonder though, as sometimes the only woman in the room, have you ever felt like your opinion was disregarded or you weren't taken seriously?
Nothing really pops into my head when I haven't been taken seriously. At a really young age, I was taught to communicate as effectively as I possibly could. I was taught not to be shy, to speak up. So I think that if you're prepared and if you're confident when you speak, you can much more easily navigate any potential obstacles of someone that's not wanting to take you seriously. And you can bypass that with emotional intelligence.
Yeah, well, good. So, how does diversity in the workplace, especially gender diversity, benefit the printing industry?
I think that everyone that is talented and that works hard in our industry can be a contributing factor to its success, right? Whether you're male or female, it doesn't matter.
Hmm.
It's talent and it's dedication. That's what matters. And that's what should make you rise to the top. All industry is changing and all industry is evolving. And I think that it will take the greatest minds to take any industry to the next level. And that's what our industry needs, regardless of gender.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good outlook to have. Now, last year you were promoted to director after John Sarantakis retired. So, I'm curious, what have you done since then?
As a manager, My management style hasn't changed much. I've always been in tune with my team. When I was associate director, I was in tune with my team, but I have increased my overall focus and my overall vision on our goal as an organization. I want to more align our departments into alignment of the goals of the university. I'm working on collaborating with other departments. I want to better understand their needs. I'm working on insourcing and new contracts and bringing more work into the implant.
Nice.
And we're adjusting our standards as needed. I think you should constantly look at your workflow and determine what changes need to be needed. Being stagnant is not in a good place to be.
No, definitely. And I'm always trying to get that message out there. I know OU has done a great job of diversifying the types of products you offer. You were one of the early implants to offer promotional products. How is that business doing, by the way?
Oh, it's doing great. We've made some changes. We've moved to Swag Force for the majority of our promo products, and we've just had such great success with that. I know there are several implant managers across the nation that have reached out to learn more about our model. It's a little bit scary at first when you jump in and you're letting another entity deal with your customers and another entity deal with your sales, but they have a white glove service level. I feel like it was a seamless fit. We researched it for a very long time. And so I've been nothing but pleased with our relationship with Swagforce. And I believe that our customers have seen the benefits of that exceptional level of customer service too.
Oh, that's great. That's working out so well.
Yes.
It's a great opportunity for implants, promotional
Yes.
products. And I know you had also gotten into imaging rigid substrates and objects. Is that business still going strong?
Absolutely. We added a new Mamaki. We are very pleased with that and the additional revenue that it's bringing in. It's just a much better solution for our customers too.
And you told me you are increasing marketing efforts and even changing your sales approach. What can you tell me about those changes?
I want to enhance our approach to enhancing the goals and the mission of the university. So whether we're working on something for education or whether we're working on something for development, fundraising, or just simply producing printed material that best represents the university's brand, I'm collaborating with those other departments to help better understand their needs. We're getting information out to new employees that didn't know about us or don't know what we're doing, getting additional information out about our copier program to better educate our customers. So everything that we can do to reach out and communicate with our customers is what we want to do.
I know you're also looking at production inkjet. You attended the Inkjet Summit. Where are you in that transition process?
Oh, the Inkjet Summit, what a great event. I'm glad I had the opportunity to attend. I really learned a lot. I am methodically just looking at our volumes and doing analysis and running analytics on our digital and our offset side. And we have such a unique mix of work that it's not just cut and dry. It's not just digital or it's not just offset. And the technology in inkjet is advancing so rapidly. I think Summit is such a great place to learn about everything that's offered and everything that's going to be offered. But I'm looking at so many factors to try to make the right move with that equipment at the right time. Inkjet is not going to replace what we do. It's just going to be a supplement to what we do.
Now I know your implant is one of the few with large offset presses. Do you see a continued use for offset, or might inkjet replace it?
Inkjet will definitely not replace it. It will be a supplement to our offset. We are currently running 2 shifts 5 days a week on the offset side.
Uh-huh.
So we still have a lot of offset to run. And unfortunately, with some of the publications that we're printing offset, it's just not a good fit for inkjet. There's a lot that we can migrate over, but a huge portion of it we will not be able to. So we will keep offset alongside.
Oh,
But
okay.
again, it's not if we will bring in inkjet, it's just when.
I know one of the issues with offset is the retirement of the skilled press operators. What are you doing about finding new employees to replace retiring employees?
I know it's not just our area that can't find skilled offset or even
Yeah.
printing labor. It's really nationwide. But we have found some success lately with hiring people with some knowledge of CMYK, some knowledge of the printing industry. If you can find an employee like that and find one that is driven and ready to learn and ready to train, then we are working with them on an apprenticeship type program to make them the next generation of our operators.
Mm-hmm.
We've been doing that along with amplifying cross training in all of our areas, not just with our line staff, but also with their supervisors. That's not something that we have done in the past. And I think it's really important for any supervisor to be able to step into any area and help and or even take over if someone retires. The good thing about OU is that people come here and they stay for a long time until they retire. But
Uh,
the bad thing is that long-term employees that are retiring are very difficult to replace.
yes. What advice would you give to young women interested in pursuing a career in printing?
Again, I think people are just people. And my advice to young women would be the same as it would be to young men, Bob.
Yeah.
I think hard work and dedication will pay off, and that it's a great industry to still be able to be a part of. It's evolving and it's changing. And if they work hard, that talent's going to rise to the top if they have ambitions to lead an organization like ours, regardless of gender, regardless of the career. That talent and that hard work and that dedication, learn everything you can, that'll pay off.
What part has IPMA played in your career development?
Oh, what a valuable tool IPMA has been. Again, being able to connect with professionals from across the country and across the
Yeah.
industry. They provide such amazing resources at the annual conference. I wouldn't have ever gotten to meet people like you, Bob, if had I not gone to conference. But year round, the training, the webinars,
Right.
it's just something if you make a priority and make time for, there can be opportunities for career advancement year round with IPMA.
You hold both IPMA's Certified Graphic Communications Manager and Certified Mail Manager distinctions, which is kind of a rarity to have both. How have they benefited you?
I've had my CGCM for a very long time, probably longer than I want to admit. I decided to get my certification in mail because the administrator that we had at the time was looking at what departments needed to be closed and what departments should still be in existence and are beneficial to the university. Also, because I was the administrator over mail, but I didn't work in mail day in and day out. So that was something that I really wanted to be able to study for and achieve that certification. So that came a little bit later in my career. I think it's really important to have continual learning. I've encouraged two of my staff now, one on the print side and one on the mail side, to study for it and take their exams. And they both passed
Oh, good.
those exams not too long ago either. So we
Great.
plan to hopefully have more in the future.
Now, Sherri, I think I know the answer to this, but are you planning to be at the IPMA conference June 8th through 12th in Spokane, Washington?
Yes, I am. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes,
I've
I
been
do.
asked to lead a session on leadership. So that training class, that Lincoln leadership, that's named after an amazing leader
Yeah.
in our industry, Mike Lincoln. I know you knew him well at the state of Colorado.
Yeah.
That session is just centered on leadership goals and principles and teaching IPMA members how to inspire, motivate, empower. So I'm really looking forward to leading that session in his honor.
Good. Well, looking back on your career, can you share a particular project or accomplishment that you are most proud of?
Oh, wow, that's a hard one looking back on my entire career. Of course, being named director is the first thing that pops into
Yeah.
my head. And I'm so lucky and so proud to lead this group. I think being named IPMA president also pops
Mhm.
into my head because I was elected to represent and lead an amazing board of individuals that are powerhouses and icons in our industry. And to be able to move IPMA forward as the leader of that organization and be on that board for, I believe it was 8 years I was on the IPMA board, was
Yeah.
just such an amazing opportunity and something I'm really proud of.
Nice. Well, on a personal level, I happen to know you like dogs, but I think it goes a little beyond that, doesn't it? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, just a little bit. We, my husband and I got started in the dog show world a long time ago just by a simple connection. We made friends, one thing led to another, and I ended up in the show ring professionally handling a show dog. And no, it's not just exactly like you see on TV, but it's close. I finished our little Brussels Griffon not too long ago, his championship and then his grand championship. A lot of fun in the ring with him, but showing a dog is a process. It's just a lot like being an implant manager, right? You have to practice a lot. You have to know your competition. You have to be able to sell your product. And I think most importantly, you have to be positive, have a good attitude, and have that confidence because that dog feels that down the lead. And as being a manager, your employees feel that if you don't have that skill level and that confidence and that attitude at the top, being an implant manager.
Well put.
It's a lot of fun. I have to say, I truly enjoy it. I love the challenge.
Nice. Well, Sherry, it has been a pleasure catching up with you. Thanks for spending some time with me today, and I really look forward to seeing you at IPMA 2025 in Spokane.
Thanks, Bob. Absolutely. We'll meet up with all of our friends there.
Yes, we will. Thanks, Sherry.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Implant Outlook podcast.